For those of you not familiar with me, my name is Rob Valencius. I'm the National Agent Trainer here at Pinnacle Financial Services. And, today's webinar, just to tell you a little bit about what we have going on, we're mainly going to be talking on a generic term about, why you would choose Pinnacle as your FMO. And I'll hit a couple of the main topics and answer any questions. Now, you will notice that you are in listen-only mode. It's very important we do that because, a lot of times people forget to mute their phone and, you hear kids screaming and dogs barking and stuff, and it just causes unnecessary interruptions. So there is a chat box. You can ask me questions at any time. So feel free to, raise your hand or shout out a question, and, I will be happy to help as soon as possible. Now, if I'm going to get to the topic, I might not hit your question right away, but I do like to try to get the questions as they come up. The other housekeeping note, this is going to be recorded. So, time is money. If you happen to get a call and you have to leave, just let it, you don't have to let me know. Just bounce, do your thing, and certainly we can get you the recording after the fact. So when it comes to us, the first thing I always like to talk a little bit about is our team. So I've been with Pinnacle since 2015, so like 8 years and a month now. And, even since I just started, even when I started, our team has probably 3x'd in size just in our main office here. So, we have a very family-oriented atmosphere. We don't hide behind people. We try to communicate as best as possible, and we always have your best interest at heart. So the thing I always like to start out with is our team here. I'm not going to go into everything here, but you can find everyone's extensions, everyone's emails, everyone's social medias. And, I always encourage everybody, if you work with someone specific or myself, feel free to jump on my LinkedIn and send me an invite. I do post a lot of blogs that I write and news and information on my LinkedIn. But, we like to do this because then it kind of gives you a feel for who you're doing business with. And, sometimes you talk to someone and, you forget who you talk to. That does happen. So that's our team. Feel free to check that out. And my contact information is on there as well. So if you have any questions about anything that I go over today, or you need any help, feel free to reach out. One of the topics that I'd mentioned in the email response is training. So I am our national trainer, both internally and externally. I can help with everything, and I'm part of our marketing team as well, which I do want to get into. But I can help, from everything from learning how to sell Medicare. I'm a Medicare agent myself. I've been doing this, like I said, since 2015. I'm certified and ready to sell with 10 carriers. I have a book of business, and I have non-resident license all up and down the East Coast. So, I'm always here to help. I do say in this business, it's very similar to technology in that I can't answer every question because there's always some new crazy thing that pops up or scenarios that I've never seen before. And believe me, our agents tend to hit us with that all the time. And I work hand in hand with our support staff because they are all bunked right by me. So I hear a lot of the crazy scenarios. And, we do our best to, we have our own context with all the carriers, and we do our best to get the appropriate answers and really take a lot of that frustration and irritation off of your plate. Let our support staff do that. But, it's important to have a good training regimen. So for me, I would be happy to, if anyone's on the call and you're contracted with us or you're thinking about it, we could certainly set up one-on-ones. I'd be happy to help you walk through different things. Now, a lot of the times you want to speak with the sales guys when it comes to lead programs and sales initiatives and where to attack, but I can really kind of help you with the basics. If you have an agency or, you're looking to have someone maybe come into your office, that's certainly something we could talk about. If you're in the, Pennsylvania, Jersey, New York, Connecticut, kind of the East Coast area, it's easier for me to come out to the office and help. And if not, that doesn't change the fact that I could always fly out if there's something specific that you need help with as an agency. That's just a little bit about our training. I've been doing this for a long time. I can certainly help you start. And I know Medicare can sound very complicated. I'm not as versed on, life annuities, long-term care. I know the basics, but Medicare and ancillary products and, Advantage and supplements and drug plans, I know a vast amount of knowledge on that stuff. So you can always hit me with any of the crazy stuff or whatever you need for the training perspective. So, I always go over our website because it's kind of our hub. This is where a lot of our technology is. Now, we always have a lot of other stuff going on, and I'm not going to go into specifics today because this is more of a top-down overview webinar. Next week, I'll be doing stuff specifically on leads, technology, and things like that, where I go in a little bit more detail. But this is more of a, hey, these are what we have to offer type of thing, okay? So two of the pages on this website that I feel are going to be very prevalent and definitely something you're going to want to look into, and that's our Medicare Toolkit and our TPMO Marketing Recording Guidelines. So the Medicare Toolkit is not updated. Well, it's updated for 23, but very shortly, which is kind of hard to believe, 2024 certifications are going to be live. So AHIP, which is the kind of the main test that all the carriers accept. However, I did hear a little birdie tell me that NABIP, or NAHU, which is the National Association of Health Underwriters, their test apparently is going to be just like AHIP, and most carriers are going to accept them this year. Now, I'll have to believe it when I see it, but you might have, two choices this year rather than just strictly AHIP. And the NAHU test is actually cheaper by like $30. But this page is going to be updated when everything comes time for the 2024 certifications. What's nice is we have all the carriers here. If you don't know where to go, you just click here. It tells you what the day is, tells you, your attempts. We put in reference and walkthrough guides for all the carriers. So any knowledge that we have, we pass on to you right here for the certifications. And look, sometimes it can get very cumbersome. When June, July, August hit, there's so many tests. There's so many things that you have to do before you can start selling for AEP and getting your supplies and everything that you need to get prepped. So this is a nice little area that keeps everything short, simple, to the point, and has it all there. First looks will be something you're going to see soon. Typically, first looks start, I would say, mid to late June and then through July and August. And that's going to be basically decks that the carriers give to us so that we can relay the information to you of what either the current plans are going to look like for 2024 or any changes or additions or subtractions, and kind of gives you, now it could be totally different once October hits because everything has to be approved by CMS, and they might see a competitor's thing, they might change the plans a little bit, but for the most part they stay relatively there. And this is a great way to kind of game plan for the new year. Another tool that we have on here that a lot of people don't realize is the Part B late enrollment calculator and the Part D late enrollment calculator. Now, you can't take this as as word and it's 100%. It's an estimate, but it's very accurate. I coded this myself. This is something I use all the time, but it's very simple. You don't have to do anything other than be logged into our website, which you get a login as soon as you're contracted, well, actually, as soon as you're contracted. You don't even have to be certified and ready to sell. You automatically get access to our website, which gives you the ability to use any of the tools on here. But if you put in here how many months the person didn't have, hit calculate, and it automatically calculates it for you. So these are two great tools, especially, I deal with this all the time where, people didn't realize that they need a drug plan and it's been 2 years and, you're trying to help coordinate and get them a supplement and you have all these costs and you want to try to give them the best possible estimate. This does help. So that's a tool available on our website for you to utilize. MSAs, MHAs, whatever you want to call them, whatever the carriers are calling them these days, HRAs, these are all the instructions available for HRAs. So if you're not familiar with an HRA, it's a health risk assessment. And basically, it's kind of a questionnaire that your client does after they're enrolled with the carrier. And it's kind of a way for the carrier to get a little bit more info about the person that you're enrolling. And it's so that they can come up with a great healthcare plan for them. And, if they need a healthcare advocate or, transportation and things like that, that they can communicate that to the enrollee. Because at the end of the day, you know, you make money as long as the person's enrolled in that plan, and they make money as long as the person is not utilizing the plan to its full extent, right? Like being in the hospital for 10 days or whatever. They want them to be as healthy as possible. So these kind of give a starting point of where these things are between the client and the carrier. And I'll give the carriers this: they've moved away from the kind of, okay, your client has cancer, now we treat the cancer. And they've moved into more of a preventative instead of a reactive approach, right? So the preventative is, well, what steps can we take to make sure that the client doesn't get cancer or doesn't go from pre-diabetic to diabetic? Like, what can we do to help with their A1C and things like that? So you'll see more and more and more of that come about. I mean, especially when you're talking about, like value-based care, which is, becoming more and more prevalent. And value-based care, if you're not familiar with it, feel free to jump on my LinkedIn. I have a blog about it. But value-based care is the doctors are incentivized to keep the clients healthy, and they'll get paid more by doing so. So the more they pay attention to the person and keep them healthy, the better they are in their pocket. So they're, just a little bit more in tune with that. Whereas when you're dealing with, the typical doctor system, they see as many possible people as they can. They don't care if the person, leaves their office and they come back 2 days later because they're getting paid for it. You're going to see more and more of that value-based care. And I think the HRAs kind of play into that, but they incentivize people, agents, to do it. So it's definitely something that's a great opportunity to make some extra money, especially during AEP. Anytime there's any sort of FEMA special election periods, we put those here. We've seen those pop up here and there. The next page I'm going to show you is probably one of the most important pages we have on this site outside of that one. The TPMO marketing recording regulation. So if you sell Medicare, you know that last year the final rule slipped in that they want everybody to record their calls if it's a sales call. And then they, clarified a bunch of things about the sales calls, as well as they made people say disclaimers, and this was all for 2023. Well, I got news for you. 2024 isn't much better. So they're adding more things that you have to say in the disclaimer, like how many carriers or plans that you represent in that area. Thankfully, they played it down. They were going to make you list every carrier in the disclaimer before you start your presentation. They're implementing the scope of appointment rule again. So unfortunately, you're going to have a 48-hour wait before you can see somebody, unless it's the last couple of days of an enrollment period, or they have some sort of stipulation, or it's a walk-in client or something like that. So they're doing a lot of things that they're trying to stop a lot of the bad practices, I think, from the call centers and things like that. But at the end of the day, I don't think the government realizes that because just regular independent agents fall under TPMO, which is third-party marketing organization, that they're hurting every individual agent and agency in the country. So we do a lot of lobbying. We work a lot with NAHU or NABIP. They changed their name, so I have to kind of use both so people know who that is. But we do a lot of lobbying every year with politics and doing our best to try to get agents pulled out of that guideline. But for now, this is kind of where we're at, and it does kind of suck. But as we so the final rule for 2024 came out April 5th, and we have some blogs and we have a bunch of things ready. But the problem is the rule isn't technically finalized. There's a lot of provisions that they kind of made adjustments to. It's like a 750-page document on CMS's website. So it's really tough to go through unless you're like a lawyer. So with that being said, once that's like finalized and out by CMS, like with the actual guideline, we'll update this page so that you have it. But hey, look, I use this required disclaimer page. So when I start my appointment, I have this page up so I don't forget what to say. Although I've said it probably, 100, 200 times at this point. And then any reference guides from any of the carriers, if they have guidance, because, they all have their own interpretations of the rule, and then as well as CMS's third-party guide on that. So we update this stuff as soon as we get it so that you understand what's going on and, you can work with that. Now, call recording, all of our online enrollment platforms have call recording for free. So you can get call recording from Connecture or Sunfire or My Medicare Bot, which is all three of the platforms that fall within our Connect for Medicare platform. I would tell you this, my mom always taught me free is the way to be, right? So, it is good that they offer that. They're a little clunky and they're not perfect, and they haven't really worked on them as much as we would have liked over the past, 6 months to 8 months. I personally use, and this isn't something that Pinnacle represents, but I use Ring Central. I think they have a pretty cool platform, and you can get it for $30-$40 a month. You get your own internet VoIP phone number. You can download the app. You can very easily, it just has a record button. You can have it auto record. You can even record yourself saying the disclaimer and play that as soon as you start the recording. There's a lot of really cool functions that it has. So it's kind of an all-encompassing platform that you can utilize when you are looking to just stay compliant. The phone saves, like the actual records, they're right there. You can put them wherever you need to. They're in the cloud. So it's a really cool platform. But certainly if you want to save some money, you can certainly use any of the recording platforms that any of these guys have between Connecture, Sunfire, and My Medicare Bot. So services, I'm not going to go into all these. From a technology standpoint, we offer, secure email. We have a lot of other stuff down the line here. If you're looking to get any sort of discounts on your CE credits, you can always talk to me. We'd be happy to help with those. But you can also buy them through here. I think it's like $40 for 24 hours. We offer discount errors and omissions, which is something that's required by all the carriers. So where was I? Let me see here. I did have a question. Is a CRM available and discount? So yes and no. So we do offer a CRM. It's through Agency Block. It has a massive discount. I think we charge $10 a month. That's one of the things we do charge for. But it's not as customizable as most people would like. It's more of a window into your business because we already use Agency Block and put all of your written business in there. So, if you were to go to Agency Block and try to get your own account, it's going to be, 90 to 100 or more a month based on what you want. So yes, we do. It's just not as all-encompassing. Now, I will tell everyone on the call this. We have some new technology we're working on. We're hoping that it's rolled out before AEP, and it's gonna blow your socks off. It is an amazing platform. It's an all-encompassing CRM system and has a bunch of other functions to it. So we're really, really excited about that. But I can't share any specific details or anything like that until we're doing a lot of beta testing and doing a lot of stuff to get it done. So we have some stuff on the horizon. Hopefully that is enticing for everybody on the call, because I think that there's a lot of cool stuff that we have going on with that. So let's talk about certifications. I am always available. I can't do your certifications for you, but I can guide you through things. So if 2024 hits and you're struggling, don't hesitate to give me a call. I've done probably every certification for every Medicare Advantage carrier in the entire country. So multiple times. So I can certainly help anybody if you're struggling, because some of them are designed to really throw you off, which is it's not cool. Now I will tell you this: our design services is top notch. We have two graphic designers in the office. They will design pieces for you, flyers, business cards. The two things that we have utilized the most that are big time money savers, we design logos and we design websites. So if you're contracted and certified, or if you're contracted with some of the bigger carriers with us, whether it's Medicare, life annuities, long-term care, final expense, we offer web pages at no cost. Now, the two things that are required from you that will have a cost is GoDaddy and buying a domain. So you have to go to GoDaddy, purchase a domain, and if there's anything else that you're looking to do, that's extra. But for the most part, it's a one-page site, and let me show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. You do need a professional logo, which I'll get into in a second. We have a fillable form here that has some different options for you to pick. You do need, professional headshot or something that's semi-professional. You give us all the wording here. From a products perspective, you choose which products you want to be here. This actually helps with your search engine optimization, your SEO. We have a lot of keywords in here that help kind of populate you onto the internet. This is for Medicare. So if you have a Connecture or Sunfire, you automatically get set up with a shopping link. And we actually plug that shopping link here. And what that'll do is if someone clicks on it, it'll actually take them to a page where they can enroll themselves and quote themselves, and you get paid for it. So it's a pretty cool platform. This area is a lead generation form. We do not get involved in this. So whatever email you give us, if someone fills this form out, it will get sent as a lead to your email address. So there's no middleman there. And then, all of this is the information you give us, as well as any socials. And then we do have the required lingo down here, so this way no one gets in trouble with good old CMS. So the first step, though, is that you need a logo. We can't do this without a logo. It's kind of the centerpiece up here, but you're in luck. We also do logo creation. So these are some examples of ones we've done. There's no color here, but these are all colored logos. These are, they just do them as examples. But these are our graphic designers are amazing. We do this for you for free. I mean, this is a couple $100 at least if you need a logo designed. So just kind of keep that in mind. And this takes a little bit of time. So if it's something you're interested in doing, I'd recommend to do it as soon as you can. Takes about 7 to 10 business days, and we typically err more on the 10 business days because we're doing this for agents all across the country, and they design them from scratch. They go by whatever you tell them. So I do think that it's a pretty cool thing that we offer between these two. You won't find that anywhere else, especially for free. I can tell you that. So let's touch on 2 more things before we get out of here. So from an enrollment standpoint, I know I mentioned it a couple times, but we have the best enrollment platforms on the planet, and we're one of the only brokerages in the country that has access to all 3 of these. You can use Connecture, you can use Sunfire, and you can use My Medicare Bot. Now, My Medicare Bot, a lot of people probably haven't heard of that. They were really good when it came to voice things like voice scopes and stuff like that. The problem is there's only 3 or 4 carriers that they have active right now, which is why they haven't really done a whole lot. But I will tell you our Sunfire and Connecture platforms, Dustin in the office, we always laugh. People ask, hey, well, which one's better? And it's, Ferrari or Lamborghini. They're both sports cars. They both have, something amazing under the hood, but they're different. So we always tell people we don't have any sort of, we don't lean either way. Personally, I use Connecture just because I've always used Connecture, but I also use Sunfire for some other purposes because they have some pretty cool things like being able to look up a client's Medicare information. Whether they're on Medicaid, or they have the Medicare Medicaid lookup that Jarvis has from United Healthcare, which is pretty cool. No other platform has that right now. So that's our online enrollment systems. We have quoting systems for everything from annuities to term GUL, Medicare, long-term care. So if you're looking to quote like supplement products, because the online enrollment platforms are not good with supplements. I don't know why. It's probably the easiest thing on the planet, but they don't really have them. So I always recommend using this, and we use CSG Actuarial for the quote software for Medicare supplements. And let's end with this. Good old leads and marketing. So like I said, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on the leads and marketing, because I do have a leads and marketing webinar on Monday, going a little bit more in detail. But we offer everything from direct mail to retail to telemarketing to lead lists whenever you need them, social media. But the big one that I always like to bring up is our seminar selling program. Which works really well for annuities and Medicare. And what this company does, and it is expensive. It's not cheap. You're talking probably $2 or $3 grand. So I don't like to sugarcoat anything and make everything sound like it's the best thing on the planet. But I will tell you, I think people have gotten tired of COVID. They're over it, so they want to get out and about. And this seminar selling program that we've been using, they have been filling seats like crazy. We had one of our guys in Philadelphia have a place, and he had a book for 2 days, and it could only fill, I think, 50 or 60 people where they had it. And he had so many people sign up, he had to open a third day that basically almost spoiled over and filled up as well. And the return on investment is high. Now, with Medicare, you might not always get a sale right away. It might be in a couple months. It might be in a year. You might get referrals. So having a pipeline of, 100, 120 people in a couple day span really kind of gives you a great opportunity to make some sales and continue your sales pipeline, which is important. So that's probably one of our best retail programs. Seminar selling programs. Now, I will tell you, Walmart, we're still waiting to hear what's going on. As you can see the dates on there, that was last year's Walmart retail initiative. Normally, we're in the middle of it right now. Normally we're set and ready to go. Round one's almost over. But unfortunately, they haven't finalized whatever contract they need or whatever with Walmart. So we're still kind of waiting on that. But that is another opportunity. We will have other retail opportunities that we work with the carriers, between Aetna, which uses CVS, and Kroger and Walgreens and Rite Aid. There's a million of them. So there's a bunch of those there. And then probably the other one that we've been using a lot is the LeadStar Marketplace. They offer a bunch of different lead programs available. They're exclusive, and they have calls and warm transfers and data leads. So, this is, like I said, I don't want to go into a ton of detail, but they have like an integrated CRM, and it cuts the middleman out, meaning we get you set up in the marketplace, and then you can buy whatever lead you want, and they get sent right into your portal. So there's no waiting, there's no, back and forth. It's all based on you and you setting up your program. So, hopefully that was enough info. I really wanted to keep this to about 30 minutes. Let me just see here. I don't think I have any more questions from anybody, which is cool. I guess I did a great job. Yeah, I don't see any questions. So we have everything available. We do whatever is best for you. Between the leads, the training, the technology, and just our service. So I don't think there's anyone else out there that does what we do. I think it's pretty cool, the stuff that, and I could tell you our owner, Kevin Shields, he goes back to the 70s and 80s, and he knocked on doors and sold long-term care. And he worked his way up and all the way up to being able to, start his own company, which was like 2001 at this point for us. So, we're not dropping the bucket. We've been around for 22 years. So, and we're going to keep growing, and we would love to have you along for the ride, as well as working with us. And if you're already with us, how can we help you grow your business? So I'm going to leave you with that. Happy Friday. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I hope anyone that drinks has a margarita for me. And, I hope you have a great weekend. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out. And I'll see you guys hopefully on my Monday leads call. Thank you. Have a great weekend.